December 1944, Ardennes. A king tiger sat hull down on a ridge near Houghton. The crew felt safe. Why wouldn't they? The enemy was nearly 2 miles away. The ground in front of them was open. Their armor was among the thickest on the battlefield. Exactly the kind of situation German tank crews trusted. Then a shot struck the tank. The crew never saw what fired it. Days later, the report landed on General Fritz Bayerlein's desk. At first, he ignored it. By December 1944, Bayerlein had spent years reading battlefield reports. Distances were often exaggerated. Crews under fire frequently misjudged what had happened. One strange report meant little. Then another arrived, and another. Different locations, different units, different commanders. Yet the stories sounded remarkably similar. A distant flash, a sharp crack, a hit from a range German crews considered safe. One crew described turning its turret repeatedly, searching the ridgeline where the shot must have originated. They found nothing. No movement, no muzzle flash, no second target. Only the growing realization that whatever had fired the shot was already gone. No visible attacker, no opportunity to return fire. For most of the war, German tank commanders rarely wondered what had hit them. They usually knew: artillery, enemy armor, an anti-tank gun. The battlefield was dangerous, but it was understandable. These reports were different. That bothered Bayerlein. He had fought beside Erwin Rommel in North Africa. He had survived the Eastern Front. He had commanded Panzerlehr through Normandy. Few German officers understood armored warfare better. Most importantly, he understood how tank crews thought. Armor was not just steel. Armor was confidence. A crew that doubted its protection became cautious. As more reports arrived from across the Ardennes, Bayerlein began searching for an explanation. At first, he assumed the problem was tactical. Perhaps distances were being misjudged. Perhaps artillery was being mistaken for direct fire. Perhaps an isolated American unit possessed a weapon not yet identified. Each explanation sounded reasonable. None explained the pattern. Because the pattern was no longer limited to destroyed tanks. It was beginning to appear in the behavior of the men commanding them. One report described a King Tiger platoon stopping before crossing open terrain. No enemy had been seen. No shots had been fired. Yet the commander delayed the advance and requested additional reconnaissance. Another report described a formation changing its route to avoid a ridgeline where American positions were only suspected. A third reported repeated stops to scan distant tree lines before moving forward. Individually, those decisions were sensible. Together, they formed something else, a trend. One commander delayed a crossing by 10 minutes while scouts searched a distant tree line. They found nothing. Another halted before entering a valley because a neighboring unit had reported long-range fire there the previous day. Again, no enemy was found, yet both advances slowed all the same. Bayerlein spread the reports across his desk again. This time he noticed something he had missed before. The destroyed tanks were not the story. The changing behavior was. For years, German armored warfare had relied on confidence. A King Tiger commander understood where danger usually existed. He understood when to advance and when to fight. Those assumptions created speed, and speed created momentum. The Ardennes offensive depended on that momentum. Every mile gained depended on German armor continuing to move. Yet something was slowing that movement. Not enemy fire, the expectation of enemy fire. A destroyed tank could block a road. A worried commander could slow an entire offensive. Eventually, German intelligence identified the likely source: a new American tank destroyer, the M-36 Jackson. At first glance, it seemed unimpressive. Its armor was thin, its turret was open. Compared to a King Tiger, it looked vulnerable. Yet the Americans were not relying on armor. They were relying on something else. A powerful 90mm gun. Long range, careful positioning, patience. The M36 crews understood they could not fight German heavy tanks on German terms, so they created their own. They occupied high ground, studied terrain, measured distances, prepared firing positions. Then they waited, sometimes for hours. When German armor entered their field of fire, they struck first. One shot, sometimes two. Then they disappeared. Again and again, German commanders found themselves reacting to a threat they could barely locate. The weapon itself was dangerous. Its effect was even more dangerous. Bayerlein had seen powerful weapons before. None of them concerned him in quite the same way. Those weapons destroyed tanks. The reports now arriving on his desk described something different. They described changing behavior. One commander hesitated before crossing open ground. Another requested reconnaissance where none had been needed before. A third chose a longer route to avoid a position he could not confirm was occupied. The tanks were not changing, the decisions were. And for a commander responsible for an offensive, that difference mattered enormously. Every report pointed toward the same conclusion. The Americans were forcing German commanders to trade speed for security, and time was exactly what Germany lacked. That was the irony. The Americans were not destroying enough tanks to stop the offensive. They were changing enough decisions to slow it. No commander was panicking. They were behaving rationally. That was what made the situation so dangerous. Every additional pause, every delayed crossing, each action seemed insignificant on its own. Together, they cost momentum. And offensives often die from lost momentum long before they run out of tanks. The more Bayerlein studied the reports, the clearer the truth became. At first, he thought he was investigating destroyed tanks. Then he thought he was investigating a new American weapon. Eventually, he realized he was investigating something else entirely. For years, German crews had trusted distance. Distance provided confidence. Now distance created questions. A distant ridge, a distant valley, a distant tree line. Any of them could hide danger. Somewhere in the Ardennes, a King Tiger commander stopped before crossing open ground. Weeks earlier, he would have driven forward without hesitation. Now he studied the ridges through binoculars and waited for reconnaissance to report back. Nothing had changed in the landscape, yet everything had changed in the way he looked at it. The Americans had understood which certainty German tank commanders depended on. Then they took away exactly that certainty. The King Tiger had not become weaker. Its armor remained formidable. Its gun remained deadly. But the battlefield around it had changed, and the men inside it knew it. By the final days of December, Bayerlein finally understood what the reports had been trying to tell him all along. The Americans had not found a way to destroy every King Tiger. They had found something more decisive, a way to make experienced German commanders trade speed for security. They had not changed the King Tiger. They had changed the decisions of the men inside it. And in the Ardennes of 1944, that may have been the more decisive weapon of all.